Madison.
And I'm Lisa, and welcome to Neucrew.
Like entrepreneur crew.
We enable ideas to meet reality
by creating content around startup processes to make starting a company more accessible to everyone.
And if that sounds like something that you're interested in, then subscribe to join our entrepreneur crew, our new crew. Okay, so let's get into it. We have another Q&A video for y'all.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen, we asked a ton of questions to our mentor, Aaron Godoy, and we are sharing his answers to our questions. We asked him questions like, what's an LLC? How do you set one up? What's a DBA? How do you set one up? Should I set one up? And a lot of other questions around similar subjects.
And today, the question that we're talking through is how to set yourself up for success when trying to find a name for your startup.
So we're going to drop you right into the action. Here we go.
If we're called New Crew and we do YouTube, and then there's someone else called New Crew that does race car replacement stuff, do we still have to compete with them for the name, or is that okay?
Good question. Actually, as far as I know, this is not legal advice, but as far as I know, you can still use that name. I'm sure you can probably think of some examples. It was just stuff you've read where you plant trees and you call yourself Google Tree Planting Company or something, right? As long as you don't overlap in a way that a customer could get confused, that's pretty subjective, but get confused as which company they're operating with, then you're fine. So here's a great example. Four Seasons came up during 2020. Four Seasons Landscaping versus Four Seasons Hotel. And that's fine because, Four Seasons Hotel does not have landscaping as a principal business activity. So you could have both names simultaneously. And it's fun because we'll probably actually see some examples of that whenever we go to start searching for names in the Texas database of entities. Because, for example, if you were to type in yes and only has one, and that's us, you'll see, a million other things that are yes something or are very similar. So if you think of any sort of common noun or something like taco, type in taco into the search and just see how many things of tacos come up. So the key is to just differentiate yourself enough, or if you really want to use a name and you see it's clearly already taken, then at least make sure that the business you're doing is different from the existing one.
Let's say that there's a new crew, but it's spelled differently, or there's, NEW space crew. With ones that are close to the same, maybe they are similar, but they're not exactly the same. Are there any sort of standards, okay, if you are doing the same thing, but your names are similar, is it just they're not exactly the same, so it's okay? Or is it kind of gray area?
Yeah. Honestly, that probably branches into legal advice that I'd have no way to give. Though, from what I understand, it really just comes down to the nitty-gritty details of how close are your businesses, the industries that you do, the business activities you have, how close is the spelling? Is it clear you were trying to imitate this other company, like Google with 3 zeros, and you were just starting a search engine, right? Yeah. So that I'm sure all goes in front of someone, a judge, I don't know, during legal proceedings, and they just sit down and say, well, it's clear you were kind of trying to ride the coattails of this other company. They would not look favorably upon that.
Okay, so what we took away from Aaron was that it's probably a safe bet to search up your name and try and differentiate yourself from other companies out there. But if you do have a similar name to another company, as long as you're in a different industry or you're serving different customer bases, then you're probably in a good spot.
But hey, let us know if you have any more questions on this subject, because we would love to follow up with you, maybe make a video on one of your questions too. Leave them in the comments below.
Yeah, and while you're at it, like this video, subscribe to our channel, turn on your bell notifications, and follow us on our socials, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.